falls and the winds get loud, and I can't see past the weight of the clouds. I remember who holds every tear. I take a breath and live without fear. Been through trials, fire and pain, but his promise cuts through the rain. I don't need to have all the control. I got peace that anchors my soul. I won't break, I won't run, my battle's already been won. He's my light, always near, that's how I live without fear. I won't fold, I won't hide, he's the strength I keep inside. Storm may come, I persevere, 'cause I live, yeah, I live without fear. People talk, they throw their stones, but grace reminds me I'm not alone. I don't need to prove a thing, I'm walking with the King of Kings. This world shakes and tries to shake me, but I stand firm, faith won't break me. Every shadow's got to disappear. When God is close, I live without fear. I won't break, I won't run, my battle's already been won. He's my light, always near, that's how I live without fear. I won't fold, I won't hide, he's the strength I keep inside. Storm may come, I persevere, 'cause I live, yeah, I live without fear. It's not about being perfect, it's about trusting the one who is. Even in the valley, he's still God. I won't break, I won't run, my battle's already been won. He's my guide, always near, that's why I live without fear. I won't fold, I won't hide, he's the truth I hold inside. Let the world know I'm still here, standing strong, living without fear. Faith over fear, always.
And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I hope you enjoyed that new kind of energy with the opening like I did. That's all we got to do, baby. We just got to live without fear. And truly, we've got the answers. We've got the explanation. We've got the Lord of light and love with us again today. Brothers and sisters, surprise to you. Greetings and blessings to all. My sincere gratitude. That's a great question. What insanity will Jack try to project today? It's a good question, because we never really know until we choose. And once we choose, then we know. And once we know, then there's no confusion. And one of the things I know for sure, these words from Neville Goddard, they're words of wisdom. The world is not happening to you. The world is happening from you. You are the root cause. You are the source. And everything that flows into your life is simply returning to you the belief you have planted and nourished. The ideas and the powers in your mind are far greater than you might realize. What I found earlier in my own path of self-development and trying to create for myself a happier life, gratitude, man. It's so simple. It's so obvious. Gratitude is the key to joy, happiness, and you can find gratitude in pretty much anything. The power of mind and will are yours to claim, just like mine was. I'd given my power, my will away a long time ago. My story is I was an alcoholic for a long time, but I'm not anymore. Today, I am a man of love and God and peace. So back to the point. In the practice of gratitude, I've developed for myself a strong practice of gratitude, one that I'm actually kind of proud of, because I can be grateful for pretty much nothing. I'm creative that way. But what I found is if you're seeking gratitude, it's right there. The key is to look at the wholeness of what you're facing. And if you're going to look at the wholeness of what you're facing, you need to think back to the start. To put this into a different way, right? Go to anything on your table, anything in your fridge, anything that you're going to consume for yourself and you're going to enjoy. Think about where that came from. See, this money system we've got, it detaches the consumer away from the producer, and we lose sight of the humanity of each other. Every good we consume, every product, every produce, someone else was involved. And those other people, they got families and kids. They're all in this together too, man. So for myself, when I started thinking back about where things came from, all the effort that was involved to bring me all the ingredients for my sandwich, right? I mean, how many ingredients are grown, harvested, gathered, and put together just for, a tomato and sprout sandwich, man. A little bit of hummus, a little bit of mustard, some pickles maybe. I haven't eaten yet today. No, I did eat today, but the food has got me distracted. The point is if you think back to where things came from, it's really easy for you to start opening up and realizing, oh shit, I'm not in this life alone. There's others, man. We're all in this together. So truly, if you, where is that? If you think to the source of things, to understand the variables that are involved in whatever it is that you're experiencing, it can help. Because when you think to the source of things, you get a better clarity of all the different variables involved. And with the knowing of more variables that are involved, it's more information. It brings a deeper level of understanding. And through a deeper level of understanding, that can reveal appreciation, gratitude. It's there to know. So be with gratitude for yourself and share that gratitude as you flow through your day. And that's really what I truly believe is the simple messages of how to be. What does that say? The issue is, though, our default position is sorry. This we've normalized and accepted, so you really have to have either no clue of truth or no wish to know it in order to live with gratitude. You can't live with gratitude by knowing the truth? No, I disagree with this comment, Marcos. Or maybe I'm not understanding what you shared. Because it is through, this is something I found for sure. The truth is not always pleasant. The truth is not always pleasing. The truth is not always kind. Sometimes the truth will take you to your knees. It'll rock your world and break your heart, twist your dreams and throw you aside. The truth is tough, but the key to gratitude is be grateful that you get to know. When someone hurts you, be grateful you get to know who they are because they're showing you. They don't appreciate you. We all have to scratch each other's backs. Some would never. It would work so much better without controllers. I agree. But we got to this point because people behave like animals. And when people behave like animals, it justifies other people to step up and start establishing control. And then all you got to do is convince all the animals to start obeying and thinking like you. And that's what happened. The animals, the common beasts of labor, right? The working class in America, we were taught to believe that wealth and authority was controlling. We bought into the religion of money. Shame on us all. Money doesn't bring happiness. Money doesn't bring fulfillment. Money doesn't bring anything at all, except it incentivizes cooperation from other human beings. That's all that money does. It incentivizes cooperation with other human beings who think that money has value. But I know the human beings have value. Do you know that? The human beings have the value, not this money made up stuff, not the positions, not the titles, not the any of that stuff, man. You know, I have a lot within here and within here that's ready to come forth. But today I was running around quite a bit, so I didn't make a lot of notes. One of the notes I did, knowing gratitude, finding the source, realize what we are. We are a part of life. Life is, oh gosh, life is so many things in its unique phenomenon. But in the realm of mind, I believe that life actually is a remembering. We come into this physical realm in the human capacity, and we come through a veil of forgetfulness. And we've forgotten that we are united with the infinite. We've forgotten who we are. I kind of think it's part of the game, that there's this layer of wisdom, you know, from the heavenly realm of the all-knowing, and then our limited dark ignorance here on earth. There's veils between the wisdom and the ignorance, but we're living at this time where these invisible veils, I believe they're fading away. And as the invisible veils of ignorance and confusion fade away, well, nothing will be left except the truth. So the key is to remember that the truth is more important than the lie. But you do not want to ignore or search for the lies. You want to seek and be grateful for the truth. I hope that makes sense. What was this? The more we Rose 777, God bless you for the contribution. Thank you for that. The more we observe animalistic people, the easier it is to predict their behavior and use it to our advantage for protection, or at least time management and energetic delegation. That is wisdom right there. That's the mind of a manager, right? Of a boss. That's someone who knows. Yes. And I am thankful, grateful, truly blessed for the donations. Thank you. I forgot where I was. As long as you think you know who you are, you will not search for more of what you may become. And that's in line with the life being a remembering. As we go through life, we get reminded of the truth, because the truth actually rises from within. It's an energy and a frequency that we can tune into. I don't know how to describe it in a way that makes sense, like I feel it, but I think like the heart and the mind, they're like this amazing capacity of receivers. That's what our bodies are. We're regenerative receivers and transmitters who consume and convert energy. It's just a natural process of, what's the word? Of the process of entropy, energy, the patterns that are naturally there in nature. I don't understand this stuff fully and as detailed as I could. I've got a pretty good picture in here of what I'm trying to say. Everything I'm trying to explain is irrelevant without the goal being achieved. And the goal that I hope to help you achieve is the goal that I'm working on myself. And that goal that I hope we can share together is just learning how to live authentically, honestly, presently, eternally. Be beyond time. When you make your choices, consider the past, the future, as well as the present. The world we live in, where we're so hectic and so fast-paced, running from one distraction to another obligation, to another conviction or an argument, we just go and engage and bounce around one thing to another until we don't. And by God's grace, in my life, I found myself with reason, opportunities, and time to stop, sit, and think. To do that. To let the storm pass through you. The storms come and go, right? Be stronger than the storm. Be greater than the storm. Be greater than the darkness. Be greater than the pain. Be greater than the sorrow. Be great. To know gratitude and know that you are the source of your own gratitude. Remember who you are. You are the creator, the co-creator of your life every single day, just like I am. Each day we awaken, cognize ourselves back into being. It's like, oh yeah, I'm Jack again. Holy cows, I get to play another game of life. Go through the day, you make choices based upon variables and opportunities or memories and routines. You don't even have to think to go through your day. Many people don't. That's how we have the billionaire class and the poverty class, because people don't stop and think. But it's about to change, because brothers and sisters, if we can find a way to grow this message of live without fear, right? All around the world. That's the goal. That's the plan. The plan that's in here and in here is to share this message of love and peace and unity and righteousness, fairness, trueness, all around the world, so that we can celebrate life here on earth together, all together, where we're not divided by our opinions, our beliefs, our memories, our labels, where we're just united together with the truth of life. And the truth of life is that we are the life that is living. Life is being lived through you. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, okay? Shift how you see you. Recognize you are not the God, right? There is higher powers than you that are far smarter, far more caring than any of us are, especially to ourselves. Because the words from the Bible, I trust them to be true. The red letters, the way that Jesus lived is the way to be. And the way he lived was with faith in the Heavenly Father, in his own true capacity, and he pushed himself. I can imagine he pushed himself. As it said, he went in the desert. He faced some temptations. God knows, the story is he was brutally beaten. So he was truly tested. But that's all of us in our own unique ways. And we're all different, yet the same. You know what? I'm not sure what's going on today. I'm not sure how late I plan on running. This could be short and sweet, because there's more ideas. I think this is where I started going. I got a lot more ideas in here and in here that I intend to share, but I'm not quite prepared yet. And the topic of the fairy tale of America, I want to present that one pretty well, because there's so many parts to that. Today, though, instead of pointing at the worldly ways, I thought I'd point at some conceptual ideas that may help grow the spirit. Because really, if you break down the principles taught through the Christian teachings, many people aren't practicing what is actually intended. The idea is to embrace and to live by the Holy Spirit. And you'll know you're living by the Holy Spirit when the fruits are shared, when they're evident. You can tell when someone is filled with love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, all these good things. You can tell when someone is sharing those things. You can tell when you are. So if you can tell when you are sharing those things, well, can't you tell when you're not? So if you're not sharing love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, if you're not sharing those things, look at yourself and ask yourself why not. Because the world deserves more. That's my opinion, at least. But where I'm at is my opinions don't matter. The only thing that matters is what God allows me to know. And what I know in my heart that God is more real than me. It's not a doubt in my mind. All this life I was living, I thought it was all about me. I thought I mattered. I thought the things I did mattered. I thought that, by doing the things I did, I thought people would appreciate those things. I thought they'd see the importance of them. But what God has shown me is it does and it does not matter. What matters, it does and does not matter what you do. What truly matters is what is within you, okay? Because what is within you will determine what you do, okay? If you allow yourself within to be angry and sad, guess what type of choices and actions you're going to take? You're going to take some angry and sad actions. You'll do actions out of sadness. You'll do actions out of anger. Those things can be very destructive. So the key is we want to change. We want to embrace the change and become the good feelings that human beings are capable of. Every one of us is capable of greatness, is capable of joy, capable of whatever. We never know what we're capable of until we're placed into a situation. My mind started reviewing my past. I placed myself in some uncomfortable situations in the past out of stupidity. But another part I was thinking earlier today is the choices I've made since finding more faith in me and in the unseen. There was a lot of people in my experience who accused me of being crazy. They stayed a distance away and said all sorts of all sorts of things at me and about me. So from the outside and looking at some of the choices I've made from my past, if I look at some of the choices I've made from my past, some of them were illogical, and illogical can appear very crazy. But I only made these illogical choices because I had no other choices available. I didn't have any other choices available because everyone around me wanted me to think I was crazy. So I had to make some crazy choices out of what options I had. I'm an example. I am an example of this thumbnail in many ways. Yes and no. What happened with me, I am the root cause. I see that clearly now. But I am the cause of me, and me, who I am, has been involved and is a part of many others. So it's not just an individual, and yet it is. Golly geez. I'm trying to be accurate, and that's why please forgive me if I'm causing confusion with my contradictions. Yes. For anyone who wishes, please feel free. I'm not sure what to do. Here, the 3 notes I wrote down. Life is a remembering. We are passing through this veil of forgetfulness. And sometimes that veil of forgetfulness, it lingers real heavy and it causes us cognitive blindness. That's why we got to work together and help each other out so we can see each other properly. Hey, we got a guest. Keep me going. Welcome back, El Perro. How are you today, brother?
Greetings, Jack. It's interesting. Yesterday's discussion with Dub and the thing for the intercessory, something in between us and God. And what you got for the title today, Knowing Gratitude, Finding the Source. So before Jesus came, there was a God. Before Jesus came, there was a way of salvation. And this is why I spoke about the spiritual baptism and the baptism by fire. The baptism of fire is our own experiences here on this planet, in this earth, of which we live in but are not from. And the spiritual baptism is recognizing the spirit that guides you, the spiritual presence that is not of this world, but yet we all know it. We all have some kind of spiritual presence in our heart, whether we see it as good or bad. Some people claim to be out here to be demons, so that is a spiritual presence, either way you look at it. And they can't deny this when they say things like that. That's belief in a spiritual presence, whether you think it good or bad. So I referenced one of the scriptures in relations to that, and that is the credence of God. What he puts out shall always return to him. And it says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Now, this is the thing about God and the identity and people wanting to personify God in person rather than in actions. That's why we play those firsthand experiences so much. And we have that faith and belief in ourselves. No matter what we think we're going to do, we still have that faith and belief until it's destroyed somehow by somebody else's belief. Your first actions always speak louder than words, folks.
And so where do we go from here? See, that's I'm always asking myself, where do we go from here?
Well, it's always talking about finding source. Today, many people are converting from funerals and mourning the death of their lost loved ones and returning to a celebration of life where they have a remembrance of their loved ones because they didn't die as in the context of dying, but rather they passed on. And many people think that when they pass on, their life ended and then they've passed on. No, they've been passing on through their actions and their words all their life onto other people, their experiences. This is the importance of learning to fish. You can give a man a fish and feed him for a day, but if you teach him to fish, then you feed him for a lifetime. We spend our lives, whether we like to think it or not, learning from the other people around us, one way or another. That's that firsthand experience with people. I learned of my own self through my interactions with Jack, being that angry old man. And we at the same time both admit today we were mirroring each other. We were both angry old men. We are mirroring each other today in that growth, it seems like, as well. That's why we're coming together closer in the ideals and concepts that we truly hold in our heart, and seeing that we're just coming at them from different ways. We still give credence to that which we believe in, and that's that heavenly source, the truth, the foundation of the credence. I can't do anything for myself in my name. I have to do it for God, whether it be with or without Jesus. And that's in concept, and that's in concept only, again, folks, because I'm not the Christian, but I understand the spirituality that exists in all of us.
Hey, welcome back. Let me be frank with you. How you doing today, brother?
Good. What about you?
Feeling blessed, truly blessed.
Awesome.
The topic today, knowing gratitude, finding the source. I talked about looking for the source of whatever it is that the item of your consideration. But truly, find the source of life. Find the source of your life. Find the source of your choices. That's the key to your life, is the choices that we make. And it took me a while to realize that. My choices are my choices. No one can make my choices but me. No one can tell me what choices to make but me. I chose to obey, right? Even when I went in the military, when I worked for an employer, I chose when I obeyed. I chose what rules I followed. But I did so consciously. And the thing is, though, is in the past, I wasn't honest. I told myself I had to. I didn't have to do anything. I got to. In the place where I worked, I got to follow the rules of safety. I got to be an example of one who followed the rules of safety, who actually put forth the efforts of productivity. I got to live like that because I chose to follow the rules. So there's good things that can happen. Here's one of the things that I can receive proper criticism for is I judge the way our society is. I'm very critical about the systems of employment and government. This nonsense about bosses and rulers, this is craziness, man. Do you agree? These ideas or no?
Well, to be honest, Zach, I don't know if I can agree with you, because you have your own thing going on, and I think that's a good thing. I say own thing because I don't want to simplify in what you believe, because it's way more complex than that. And I guess for me, life works the way that I guess perceive it. I mean, I don't necessarily have an answer for that. I guess I just go with the flow.
Well, and there's part of the problem. See, everybody wants to play this song about going with the flow. And rather than the labor unions, let's think about piecework. Okay? There's an industry out there that uses wood to make pallets for the shipping industry. Now, this is one of the biggest products in the shipping industry. And so you have a value system that is regulated not by a labor force, but rather by piecework, where the guy that can put out 50 pallets in an hour is going to make more than the guy that only puts out 10 pallets an hour. This is at 20% of the workforce making 80% of the profit, while the 80% of the workforce is slacking off. That's not a flow. That's causing currents that go against the flow by putting stoppages along the current, slowing the flow down, making it wind and twist to favor people. This is the DEI. It's been going against us. Everybody has a value, as according to the scriptures says, go out and share your talents. But it's just like the public education system. It holds talents back.
So you think people are being discriminated or discriminated based on their workflow? Then
that's a large portion of it, yes. I think people like Jack that do follow the rules and show a standard are the ones that get ousted by the lazy ones that don't want to. Think about it. Again, it's 20% of the workforce that makes 80% of the profits for the corporation. Yet it's a democracy in a labor union where the 80% can oust that 20% they don't agree with because it makes them work harder.
Is that from experience? Or
Absolutely.
Is that outside of him?
But
Absolutely. I've worked both in labor, in all three labor unions, corporate fashion, and as an independent contractor myself. And
that's what I was going to say. Is it fair though to base corporate aspect on religion?
Well, they have many laws that they've instituted throughout history that show that it's a corporate setup. The city itself is a corporation.
Mm-hmm. What has that to do with
what protects the church but the city and its residents?
So the church should be the only one protected?
No, I'm saying it's a corporate protection. It's merely a financial overlay of protection that is false.
Yeah, what is false about it though?
That flow of that workflow that you were talking about that I just explained, that's a false equality.
But is that equality based on religion?
Absolutely.
So every single equality should be based on religion, then, according to you, unless I'm missing.
No, I'm saying the inequalities, the DEI, the things that allow this, portraying that everybody has this equal talent. No, you don't. If you can only make 10 pallets an hour, the guy that needs to sell 50 pallets an hour needs the guy that can put out 50 pallets an hour, not the 10 guy.
I agree on. That is a really good point. But is that necessarily?
Yeah, actually, please, let's move off from this conversation. I don't even know what the hell you guys are talking about, to be honest. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know where it went.
No, I got him. You know, Jack.
You know what? I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. I will leave my man. It's okay.
Hey, whatever, man. I don't even know where to go at this point.
Let me state, Jack, I'm not here to try to point out anybody wrong or me right, like you asked. Like you asked, is that just firsthand experience? Yes, that's just firsthand experience.
I know. I think where I'm at, though, brother, we can talk about the problems ad nauseum, and we have. We know there's problems. We are the solution, though. I know
Yeah.
that in my heart.
I agree. And again, I'm not saying that any one system is better or different or qualifies as the best or anything. Like Jack says, it's up to us. This is the thing that you said earlier of the things that come from you. Well, you're the man that puts forth those actions, whether it be a corporatocracy, an oligarchy, a capitalism, a socialism, whatever it is. That's your ideology. You get to work with that. That's your firsthand experiences that work best for you. We all get to do that. That's why nothing's better than the rest.
What I'm focused on is I suggest we come to the present, everyone. The past is done. What are we going to do? For anyone who might be feeling stuck, this is a question that I was considering, and it's tied to, if you're lacking gratitude, you're probably feeling stuck. Those two go together, because when you feel good, you can feel so good, you can convince yourself you can accomplish anything. And I've been both. I've been stuck, and well, I'm at this place where I literally think, if given the chance, I can help change the world, man. So everything comes down to the inner state of mind. Why are we stuck? Why would we think we are stuck in this society when the corruption is undeniable? We're not stuck. It's time for mankind, for those of us, anyone hearing these words, it's time for us to start getting creative, because creativity is the gift of God. That's what makes us God-like, is the power of creativity. Holy cows. Isn't it that simple? Made in the image of God?
Well, yeah, that's the talents that I was talking about. We're supposed to have our own creativity, whether it be in music, video, whatever forum that we exceed in. Okay. And that's that 20% that puts out 80% of the profit, the ones that are really talented. We're not supposed to be holding them back. We're supposed to be sharing them. And sharing is not the commercial sense, but like I said, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but to teach him how to fish. See, that's the true talent. That's the true benefit, the knowledge.
That is the treasure from heaven, in my mind. That's what I truly believe. We're here to learn. Every one of us has life experiences that other people around us do not. We never know when our life experiences will be helpful for another. But if we don't ever ask, we don't ever check in on each other and say, hey, what are you dealing with? Actually, you mind going there? How you doing, El Perro? What are you dealing with these days? What are you facing to overcome, if you're willing?
Well, I still have to overcome my companion. That's a daily thing. We have differences that sometimes we're not willing to give up. We have differences that we have to share with each other, no matter what the difference is, whether it be religion, politics, education, whatever. That's why we have to communicate, is to be able to build on those differences, not destroy each other for them.
I think ideally, differences can be reconciled. There's ways. Yeah. That's the key to relationships, though, really. Communicating with each other. So with honesty, hey, what you're doing is kind of sucks. What I'm doing is kind of sucks. And whatever, we can certainly support each other. This is something here, again, in this aspect with relationships, I'm speaking from experience of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes in my past in relationships. I can honestly say I've never had a healthy relationship with another in my entire life. That's why I found myself alone in life, was because I didn't have healthy relationships like I thought. Healthy relationships come down to communication. The true
And alone
message.
time. And alone time. Because even now, even though you're involved in a relationship, doesn't mean you give up your alone time.
Well, I'm referring to in the relationship, there's got to be communication. And the most ideal relationship I want to point people to is a healthy relationship with God. Communicate with your God, your higher spirit, your highest power. Communicate with God often so that you have an intimate relationship. Build the practice in prayer. God will meet you where you are, but you've got to seek, you've got to be willing to put yourself out there and say, God, I want to know. I want to know more answers. I want to know the answers. I want to know, how do I forgive? How do I create peace in this situation? How do I move forward in this situation with these options? What are my other options? Ask these questions and the answers arise. Because in the end, God knows everything. He'll let you remember. I'm pretty sure. Yes. We remember through listening, through the silence. It's through the silence that the Holy Spirit will speak. And if you allow yourself to be silent, the personality and the worries and the complaints and the urgency and all these expectations, when you set those aside so you can be still with you and breathe and be as naturally created. Naturally created. We are all naturally created. Despite the Christian dogma, we are all naturally created, innocent, and pure. We're born into a corrupted world, but a child born into this world, regardless of color, regardless of land, that child is for the world to care for. We're here to care for each other, because in the end, that's all we are. We're children growing up.
Yeah, and it's more about what we do than our name. Like I said, your actions speak louder than your words. Owe no man anything but to love one another, for to love one another is to fulfill the law. I think that's a profound scripture that Jack's been following all along and doesn't really even know the scriptures very well.
I'm learning.
But again, it's that Gentile who does in his nature what the law says without knowing the law is a law unto themselves. So again, I see Jack's nature in the scriptures as just a symbolic resemblance of the same thing that he wishes to strive for, and that is following the life of Christ. That's what the scriptures lay out for us to do, and he wants to do it naturally without even thinking about it. Now that he's knowing the scriptures, he's finding the correlations and stepping into that faith even more. I think that's a great thing.
Thank you, brother. That's very kind.
Well, that's what it's all about. Keep showing you seeking the knowledge. That's the thing about the fish, folks.
Yes.
Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Therefore, if you want to rebuild yourself, you must acquire that knowledge. Let no tongue shall prosper against you. Ye shall rise up against any tongue in judgment. For this is the inheritance of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me. So when people place you in judgment, that's not their job. That's his. according to those scriptures. If you want to rise up against those tongues, you must learn. That's the knowledge.
Oops. What is that? I don't know why that came up. Where'd that go? Sorry.
Well, that's kind of like what I see in people. Like I said earlier, I see the spirituality there, but my perception of them is a reflection. So the more I become that faithful servant, the more I see the good in people, rather than their obnoxious behaviors and things like that. I'm able to dismiss that for their childish ways.
Here, we got another guest here. Sean, I think you've been here before. Welcome back. How are you today? Are you there? Sean, you're muted if you're speaking. Well, it appears you're here. Maybe I'll bring you back up. Sorry, I took my mind off from where you were, but I kind of like this. Yeah. It's not the truth that sets you free. It's knowing the truth that sets you free. The truth is, the truth is there for us. We don't have to fight over what is true. We need to understand what is true. And then when we understand what is true and know what is true, then we can share what is true with each other. And
that's that thing where I see you following the scriptures, trying to learn. That's that study to shew thyself approved unto God, a man not needing to be ashamed of his work, rightly dividing the word of truth. You have the right to know the truth, folks. Learn it.
You have an obligation, a self-imposed,
That's that thing about the free will. That's the thing about the free will. If you take it as an obligation of his will to know, which is his true message, again, my people are destroyed for that. If you want to show that you're one of his people, this is a faithful saying that I will, that thou constantly affirm that he who believed in God be careful to maintain good works.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. Welcome, Rose. And Sean. Are either, yes. Go ahead, Sean, please.
What's up? I didn't hear much. I like Jesus, but I think he's not all loving, you know what I mean? Like, he's got some hate inside him too. Like, he's like a human being. Like, I don't think he's all loving, you know what I mean? So I'm more realistic on that.
So what does that mean? What does that mean to you? Does that give you
in an ideal, let's say hypothetically everybody was Christian like you, okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Everybody, do you really think there'd probably be less violence in the world? But I don't think we'll ever be able to get rid of it fully, because I think we're part of nature, and nature is, sadly to say, always going to be a bit violent. Like, when you look at nature, there's like 80% predators.
Sean, please.
Yeah.
Nature has tendencies that are violent. But if you look at what is predominant in nature, it's actually peace. And then the other aspect is we are naturally beasts. However, by God's grace, we have access to higher minds. And as soon as higher minds are used, then we overcome the lust and the beastly instincts. Hopefully a traffic noise isn't coming through, but I believe the teachings of Christ is just what it is. It's to show us all so we can create a world together where everyone around the world lives that way. And then we won't have any wars. We will truly focus on sharing peace, maintaining peace. You know, when we hear that some nation, some community, some city is having problems, we're going to work together to come to their aid, not just leave them hanging for the friggin' federal government or the insurance companies to save, right? What the hell is this? Guys, the world is insane. What are we going to do?
Well, are you pro like one world government, one world socialist kind of system kind of thing?
Does that
Do you
answer,
need-
is that answer required for you to think about what we're going to do?
I mean, people are thinking about it. Like, there's different ideas. I mean, there's the communism. You probably need more socialist than communist, no?
I promote specifically the resource-based economy, but it doesn't even have to be that. What I promote is transparency, Sean. I promote no more secrets, no more employees who tell lies, who protect lies, and we'll know what to do when people stop lying to each other. That's all I'm talking about, Sean. That's the first place to start.
Yeah, but do you understand that some people might lie to themselves but not even know it? I mean, it's called delusion. I mean, people believe in things that they don't even know that they're wrong. I mean, you could be wrong and not even know it,
As
and believe things that are wrong.
Well,
And
Sean, exactly.
Yep.
And this is what I've been learning and what I'm hoping, what I see God doing with us is we will unite together. Because yes, Sean, there's lots of people, tons of people, everyone's lying to themselves. But this lesson, I've been on my own. I couldn't afford to lie to myself. I was the only one who was honest with me for a long time. And so this is what I went to. What do the facts show? See, I go to the truth. I go to the facts. So the facts speak at me. And through what the facts show to me, then I can discern the truth. People lie. And so the point is, Sean, is as we grow in consciousness and we start waking up to the fact that we're all in this together, then we stop enabling each other from lying. We stop enabling our friends and others from carrying grudges, planning on revenge. And, you know, we start actually looking out for one another, dude. Doesn't that make sense, Sean?
See, that's that part about
Yeah.
that scripture that says bearing false witness. That's one of the greatest sins. And it should be in your nature to know that if you lie to somebody and they get mad and they want revenge, and that lie is big enough that it harmed them some certain way, and they're going to come after you. You know, that's sensible logic and reason. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So yeah,
Yep.
Stop the little white lies.
The Ten Commandment. The Ten Commandments says you shall not lie or something, but you should lie for, like, you know, certain cases. So,
Yeah, if they're coming to my house, if they're coming to my house with some kind of supposed warrant looking for my son, I'm sorry, I don't know who you're talking about. You don't live here.
that's why I
Here.
think morals are subjective.
Well, morals are for the unsaintly. The more people turn to God, the more saints there will be. And then we stop arguing over ethics and morality. We start doing what is right. I'm telling you, the teachings of Christ are true and real. Sean, I may be mistaking you from someone else, but did you by chance, when you were here before, did you promote some sort of meat-eating dude on YouTube? Was that you?
No,
The
I was the
carnivore?
vegan guy.
Okay. Someone was promoting a carnivore dude here, and I looked him up, and the guy's kind of psychotic.
Is that
All
Jordan
right.
Peterson?
No, it's I don't really want to promote the guy, but it's SV3RIGE. It's here, I'll type it, but like I said, the guy seems pretty suspect, so I don't really want to even give him any promotion. But he was promoted here previously.
Oh yeah,
I saw-
that guy. He's crazy. That guy's
Yeah,
Vegan Gains. You know Vegan Gains?
I
He's
know of
quite
him.
controversial. He's
Yeah.
one of the biggest vegan YouTubers out there, but he's quite controversial because he supports Israel and he's big into eugenics. He's a bit of a Nazi, but and he's vegan. That just shows you humans are weird, and he's pro-abortion. So,
Holy cows. I've seen
yeah,
him. Has he discussed that other guy, that VG
yes, he
or
criticizes him a lot. He criticizes him. I mean, Sfarage has done a lot of crimes. He hit his
Yeah.
girlfriend and stuff like that.
that's what it
Yeah.
looked like.
You
And
like my
Go ahead.
you like my short stash, don't you, Sean?
Anyway. Hey, Moonrocks, actually, thank you. I actually found Ralph Smart early in my awakening. He was a wonderful teacher. He's got a great energy and a lot of knowledge, real positive. When I was on my own, I went through a long period, my dark night of the soul. I had nowhere to turn, no one to turn to. I didn't know what the hell to do. But luckily, we live in an age of technology. And even though I didn't have connection with real human beings that were with me, I did use the technology to learn from a distance. I found a lot of people real inspiring for me. And I tell you what, you find someone who's inspiring to you, you can realize you can do what they do. I mean, that's what I've been pursuing. I know anything a man can do, another man can do. Simple as that. We may not do it exactly the same way to the exact degree, but we can accomplish what anyone else has accomplished easily. Not easily, but with purpose and the right tools. And we've had the advantage of this time of history. I believe in the future, should we survive, this time of history, the past 10 years till now, will go down in the records as the stupidest time of history. This is insanity we're dealing with. The economic plans, the militarization, the $1 trillion debt clock, and at the meantime, everyone's still chasing the fast food and the chemical addictions.
Yeah, I really think if everybody just ate less meat, specifically beef, because beef takes the most land and is the main cause of deforestation in the world and pollution. Like they say that if everybody ate like hypothetically, if everybody was vegan, you would need 50% less land, farmland. So a lot of the land would go back to nature. So the biodiversity collapse would stop, would be reduced. Because I heard there's loads of extinctions happening now because of humans taking over everything. There's only like 4% wildlife left, and 96% is farm animals. So I mean, I'm not vegan, but I understand the vegan point of view. I try to eat less meat, much less meat, and
Yeah.
the problem is with veganism is you have to supplement it with B12, iron, vitamin D. So you have to know what you're doing. Because if you do it badly, it can be bad.
Yeah, and it's not only that, and you touched on it. We've got industrial farming. Almost the entire state of Iowa is nothing but corn. And what it does is they don't replace the nutrients in the soil for anything but corn. And those nutrients are specific, and they use herbicides and this and that. So it destroys the animal life, the other vegetation life, the insect life, things like that. And now it makes it harder for people that want to go back to that traditional gardening styles and stuff like the Amish, and plant smaller field crops and stuff, instead of making the whole thing nothing but corn. Now they're able to bring forth their local produce, such as potatoes, tomatoes, strawberries, fruits and vegetables from trees, and having their own little orchards and stuff. This is very important to the biodiversity and keeping it going naturally. Mankind's manufacturing, farming, and stock herding and stuff is destroying it.
We got a lot of opportunities for improvement. Hey, let me welcome Snafu. How you doing today, my friend? Thank you for your patience and respect.
I was listening to you guys. It made me think of that video we released, that Damsel Medic shared, that I seen, that 2025 New Agenda movie. I mean, the attacks on our food supply, whether you're vegan or not, when Jack talks about legal secrets, the one thing I could tell you is you think about 3D printed foods and the market for, no, I'm serious, KFC in the Middle East signed contracts. If we have other countries, Australia, we have, again, they beta test other countries before they hit. And again, I mean, in China, they literally take trash bags and trash and fucking, make little rice and then mix it with, like, people don't understand the attack on the food supply. So the vegan, I think we're at a situation where it's very deep, Jack, but go ahead. But legal secrets, because the KFC thing and other things, 3D printed meats, they're not going to tell you it, but it's legal secret. They're getting data, they're getting numbers, they're finding out if people think it's real or not, So that when Jack talks about legal secrets, I think, and you guys are talking about the food supply, it made me think of that contract alone with, like, KFC and other big food chains that took 3D meat.
Snafu, thank you for that. This is new stuff that I don't have all the details on, but when I started looking at some of the chemicals and the known hazards that the FDA just says, yeah, whatever, it's in the food and it's approved. And the government, people have placed including me in the past, I placed my trust in the government. I trusted if it was on a shelf and it was, properly prepared, that it was okay for me to consume or me to receive. But that's not the case, guys. We're each responsible for our own individual health, and the health of our family is included in that. And then for your family to be healthy, that really means you should have a healthy community. And for a healthy community, it would be best to have a healthy nation or state. But since the state of America has kind of fallen into disrepair due to poor leadership over and over again, right? When are we going to break away from the poor leadership to set things right? I think God's doing it with us.
Well, maybe nature, maybe it's inevitable that America will collapse and it'll become smaller states. Like, it'll be all localized. Everything will be localized.
Well, I think we should discuss what the best future is. Like I mentioned, the ideas of resource-based economy, there's other organizations too. There's a foundation called the Keshe Institute, if I remember right. As I understand, the guy's a nuclear physicist or something, and he's got tons of money. He's been focused on science and creating free energy devices, and his purpose is, years ago I discovered him. They had local community offerings available where they'd invest in a community and help develop new technologies as long as the community committed to new ways of administering their community. I'm doing a poor job of explaining this, and I'm sorry for that, but it's not so much the details of this, it's the idea that we're living at a time right now. We have so many problems and so many answers are available. All we've got to do is put the two pieces together and we can totally transform the way this world is going.
Well, one website for the solutions for climate change and the biodiversity collapse is Project Drawdown. It's a website made by 500 scientists that were involved, and they tell you the top 100 solutions for climate change and biodiversity collapse as well, in the environment. So it gives you the top 100 solutions, and plant-based diet, rich diet is the top 4. So it just shows you that if everybody just ate less meat or went vegan, that it'll increase the biodiversity of the planet way more, and the environment will get way better. And it's very easy to do. And it's also healthy for humans too, because we're eating too much saturated fats from animal products. So
Where are you?
saturated fat,
Where are you from, Sean? Curious to your accent and stuff.
Ireland.
Are you a Greta Thunberg fan?
How
Yeah.
dare you?
Okay, you know you were thinking the same thing. Let's just be real.
I know exactly what you're thinking before you said it.
I mean, look, dude. I think meat has been around. I'm not a Lou Bass here, guys, because everyone knows Lou Bass's thing. But we are carnivores, dude.
The sun is hot. How dare you?
I know.
Actually, I believe it'd be more on the concept of omnivorous, because the way our jaws work. They
Okay,
work
I would
both-
agree with
They
you.
work right. They work up and down, front to
Yeah.
back, and side to side for chewing, cutting, and mashing.
Yep, I would actually agree with that, Wizard, 100%. But I'm just saying, like,
No,
I
the
don't know.
reason why I talk about fake meat, you can make fake meat now and all that, is the reason why there's so many humans now that it's unsustainable.
How far,
animal-based
Sean,
products-
how far are you away from Dublin?
I'm in Ireland. No comment. Anyway, I'm just
What do
saying
you
that
mean?
animal-based
Are you
products
around Dublin or no?
It doesn't matter, Cage.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
Why?
Actually.
Why?
My
why
aunt
does
just went to Ireland.
it matters for your curiosity, but
No, it's not
he killed the
curiosity.
cat, Jack.
for his purpose, it's his business, dude. He said he's.
How many
Anyway,
lives does a cat have?
I'm a globalist. Are you gonna kill me for that? Anyway, so
No one's talking about killing you, buddy.
well, they'll probably. I wouldn't be surprised if carnivores start killing the vegans. But anyway, so the
Wow.
reason why
What are you, roadkill?
I'm pro eating less animal products is it takes more resources, more land, specifically for raising animals than to grow plants. So it takes like 1 acre to feed one guy in vegan, and it takes 5 acres to feed a meat eater.
Well, I
Understand?
grow. I that's what I do. Actually, I grow plants. Would you like to talk about it?
No, thank you.
You grow weed.
Yeah.
I grow plants.
So, yes, those reasons you shared, Sean, those were a great part of my own choices.
Jack, if I may, the legal secret, because I get where this guy's coming from, and I don't blame him, but a lot of it is propaganda pushed as well. Our diets have been manipulated. I mean, it's kind of like the clouds, right? Remember, we were taught there were 4 clouds, and now all of a sudden there's millions. Same with our diets, the pyramid diet thing that they told. Because milk, think about it, we're the only mammals that drink another mammal's milk. Like not like if you're nursing or abandoned stuff, but like we actually seek out other mammals' milk, and drink it.
and may I add
And they
to
say,
that?
oh, it's good for the bones.
Milk
And now
for
studies
babes.
have showed it's like not what they claim it used to be. And my whole thing is deception, legal secrets, as Jack says, things that they know that they could tell the people, but they don't want because big pharma and health is money, bro.
May I add to that, Snafu, please?
Yeah, of course.
Mhm.
I'm just.
All right, so I'm saying, like, you see how there's certain substances that they say, like, don't do it if you're nursing or breastfeeding. So imagine the stuff they're putting into these animals, and then people go and drink milk.
Right.
So you know that stuff is getting put directly into your body through the milk.
Well, and it's a lot like the grass-fed beef. A lot of times they'll put on the label that it's grass-fed beef, but instead of being free roam grass-fed, they're kept in the pens, and they cut the grass and bring it to them. So they're always penned up.
Right, and it's the grass that they grow too, with their
Right.
nutrients and soil. Yeah, yeah.
Right,
And that's where
another-
Jack's legal secrets, dude. That's
And
where when you
another,
talk about legal secrets, Jack, I do feel that because here in the United States, especially Western countries, the legal secret thing is a huge issue because they protect the money.
right, and they
Oh.
protect the companies and the means by which they produce this stuff through the global
Yes.
trade, which is what Sean's talking about, and the need to keep those things so open about our trade is because it's dependent upon the people. And so when we have these things known as trade wars with the tariffs and stuff, we have to remember the importance of that is because they're making the important products that we need very expensive through those trade tariffs and making the products that they want us to have cheaper.
It's all Ponzi scheme. It's just a big shell game to keep the masses confused and controlled.
Manipulation.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly, Jack.
And all of these tariffs and there's another tariffs and something else. They're just taxes on the working class that the working class didn't ask for. More taxation is what this is by higher costs. And the corporations, they just pass down the higher costs to you and I.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Hold on. I would like to say something quickly. You know what's funny about that? Then people feel like they're obligated or not really obligated, like they're chipping into something to their own fucking enslavement, right? So it's like, okay, a person behaves in a certain way and put them in jail. We're all paying for that. Or, oh, they get a disability. And look, guess what? Now I feel like I'm paying for you.
Well, Jack, let me ask you this, Jack, because you do talk about okay, so we're talking about all these things going bad, and we're on that loop of talking about it, and we always talk about what can we do with present time. Are you keeping track of what's going on in LA right now, Jack? Los Angeles?
I looked last night.
We are basically at the brink of civil war in so many aspects. Or remember that town that got taken over, Chad, back in the. We're witnessing the optics of division.
I'm saying let's get to war here. Let's fucking resolve it.
Within the mainland, but also optics of them employing National Guard and implementing martial law maybe in the future. Have you thought about LA and maybe anything that other than DC? Like, have you? Because there's straight up war within the states in a sense.
Have you looked into the hold on, Snappy? Have you looked into the etymology of Los Angeles? Where does that name come from? All right, don't turn me into a fucking coach.
Well, dude,
I'm just bringing a relevant topic of what's happening right now.
Yes, and so Snafu, I really see the problem. If there's division in any organization, you look to the top. It's a sign of shitty leadership, poor leadership. America is completely divided, but it's not just America. America has spread our divisions all around the world.
Right. So we know. So that's okay. So Jack, I'm asking you. We know what's going on. We have thousands of fucking citizens out there, and then thousands of our service workers out there, and then thousands of the shithead elite and the government politics. Okay, but war and civil discourse is happening right now as you and I are talking on this podcast. Things that we haven't witnessed in the States for years and years. Ramping up to a future of what you don't want, what people don't. What, in your opinion, because we always talk about DC. What do you think? Because you're right. We know what the issue is. How would you approach your situation? Or if you could right now, because you still can. You're living, you're breathing. You want to stop wars. Shit's going on in LA. Like, what would something be like you think you could maybe... I mean, because there's so many things going on out there. That's it, huh? You want to get a hold of the Dawn.
I swear. I think, yeah. I'd like to.
Jack.
Okay. You got a producer, or did you do that?
For, bro?
Jack, do you got a producer, or did you pull that picture up yourself?
I did that.
You're getting better at broadcasting, you smart fucking shit. You little smart shit.
Look at this little clever child over here. I think you need a
April
hair.
the dog.
What if we go on camera? You cut off your beard, Jack, on live on a camera.
Well, maybe. Hey, you know he's coming to AZ here soon.
And
The
donate
big
to the
Don.
children.
Why don't you know the Don has many fucking events going on? Have you thought about going to some of these events
You
to get
said, hey
involved?
Jack, how come when I made your little GoFundMe and that, how come you put that $100 for an anonymous donor into your bank account? You fucked up. You
Hey,
failed the
Cade.
test.
Hey,
Hey,
Cade.
Jack. Does
I've
Jack stand for
answered.
jackass, donkey, or what?
You're about to be gone. I've answered that question several times, so shut up and listen, and I'll
Okay,
tell
let me
you
listen
again.
then. Thank you.
Before you and I had talked, after you set it up and after I received a donation, then the first of the month had passed. The system automatically deposited it. I didn't ask for it. It did it. Now you want to give me
it was
the
automatic.
contract?
You never did it yourself. You're saying
No, I did not.
you want me to believe
The
that?
system deposited it. When I sent an email, a message to the donor, I don't remember specifically what I said, but I would be happy to return it should I know how to reach them. If they want their money back, Cage, please help me get it back to them. I'm sick and tired of you blaspheming
No,
me
it's not.
and
It's not about that, Jack.
bastardizing me for what you think.
Jack, it isn't about that. Enjoy it.
Well, Cage, you're the one who brought it up. Do you get it now?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Thank you. I keep getting blamed for shit that's out of my control. And
Okay, well, you know what? Here, I'll do my research, right? I'm not going to jump to a conclusion. I'll do my research to see if that's how it operates. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you want to hear good news?
So, yeah.
You want to hear good news for you, Jack?
What's that, man? Please.
So remember I told you OTW and Paul and yourself and myself have agreed to the baubles. Well, you could maybe have your audience help you with this, Jack. But you and I are going to be talking about designs here, just like I'm talking about the other ones for the first set.
Here, Jack,
But
look,
like
I think we got the
if you have
first
like Guru
bobblehead here.
Cot,
You
if
see
you
my
have Guru
avatar?
Cot or whatever design you have in your head, and maybe you could have your audience help you. Me and you will be talking, personally about that. But that's something for you fun to fuck with because you're very
Yeah.
serious. So I just wanted to let you know. I was going to tell you privately about that, but you're all fucking eyebrows furrowed right now. So I want to get you a little like
I'm thinking about the
unfurled.
bobblehead thing. I actually made a whole
Cage is
website.
being kind of. I'm not like mad at Cage. He's actually being chill, but he's pissing you off.
Nah, he's being.
Can you full screen me?
Okay.
Because here's the first bobblehead on the lineup that we can make. Do you like the design?
That's actually good too. That's a good one too.
Yeah. You like that one?
Yeah, and we already got
Yeah.
prototypes, but like I said, Paul agreed, OTW agreed, Jack, you agreed, I agreed. Like, so they're coming, man. So if you have some funny ideas, good ideas, let us know.
Here's a head that's bobbling.
Damn. Yeah.
You know, the bobbleheads will consider this. The bobbleheads will sell themselves and they will really market well if we do something. If we can accomplish something like interrupting this crazy government that we've got.
I was just telling you, Trump Donnie Boy was coming to Arizona.
Oh,
and then I was just telling you that shit. And then Cage started, and then even if you ain't going to Arizona, go to Colorado, go to if you want to meet Donnie Boy, go meet him.
Sorry. Next Saturday is Donnie Boy's birthday.
Next Saturn Day?
Yep.
Okay, shout out to Father Time, shout out to Chronos.
You're getting super excited about Donald Trump's birthday, Jack. What the fuck, dude?
But do you understand what these people would do to you, Jack?
Jack,
Seriously?
are you gonna get the red? Are you gonna go? You know what? Honestly, folks,
They'll
if Jack
shoot you.
went
They'll shoot you in
MAGA,
your fucking face. I guarantee it.
even though it'd be crazy to see him go MAGA, he might be able to meet Trump because some fucking MAGA fans gonna be like, "Bro, we got to introduce you to someone."
We're in a reality TV.
If you guys would shut up, you could actually hear what I wanted to say. Golly, jeez.
Golly, geez, holy cows, brothers and sisters. Let's be angry.
Holy. All right, tell us what you want to say.
Well, I'm sitting here listening to you guys imagine, but what is real?
We're trying to get you to go. We're trying to get you to motivate you, to get you to rock it out and go meet Trump. You should be excited that we have this imagination of Jack meeting Trump. You should be excited that we're even like, hey, maybe Jack could do this.
Is that a
versus what we were.
possibility, brothers and sisters?
A few months back, I was like, fucking, but I think if you went in crazy MAGA, some weird fuckers might meet you, because you're like a
When do
super
I get
fan.
to speak? When? Thank you. So, yes, Donald
Thank you.
Trump's birthday is next Saturday. As I
And why does that
understand-
matter? You have
Holy shit. Holy crap. If you'd shut your mouth, Cage, and have some patience, you could have already heard. But I had to interrupt myself because you interrupted me, dude. So next Saturday, apparently our commander-in-chief, after bringing in the billionaire class and the Doge team to save money, our commander-in-chief thinks it's wise to spend roughly $94 million on a military parade for himself.
That's right. I forgot about the parade. You're absolutely right. I actually have a video I'm working on about that parade, which he's going to spend a lot more money. You know why, Jack? He's going to be competing against the other parades that have taken place around the world that Kim Jong-un and all the fucking Chinaman too did. Because they've been doing these parades to show off their power, because of their legal secrets. So that's a good thing you mentioned that, because yeah, you're absolutely right. There's going to be some unwarranted spending of sense of fuck it. You're absolutely right, and it's going to be You're right. It's going to be one hell of a show in a sense because he's going to compete against the other countries when they did their parade of weapon showery. So yeah, you're right. When is that coming? When is that? Is that happening on his birthday?
Next Saturday in DC.
Yeah, I think mainstream media is gonna fucking maybe you should do a live where you host it and review it.
Well, I'll tell you this. There's many organizations and there's many men and women who are kind of pissed off about this use of funds. And so there may be some potential interruptions. I don't know. Who knows what might happen?
I don't want to potentially interrupt you.
Being there. Cage, for the love of God, do you not know how to listen?
I'm listening.
I brought you up and the first thing you do, I'm still speaking and you just jump in and talk over me, dude. I don't get it.
Maybe you and him should have a powwow one-on-one. You and him talk it out. Talk it out, Jack.
It's not intentional. It's not intentional. He's doing it. And
you know about the number 93, Jack? Never mind 94.
What's
you know about the number 93? How they tried saying the sun is 93 million miles away. You know, the OTO and the number 93. So you can add a 1 to that, you get 94. So it's like I got 93 on the 94.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Jack, you were talking about so don't say something stupid, but I get what you're saying. We're watching what goes on in LA. So what in your thoughts, like, because you said there's many people who are upset with this. Is it people you talk to real life, online, like, and what is your issue? Is it just the birthday spending on just the show of the show? Because also, and I know you don't think too much of this, it is going to be a lot more spending than you even understand, because when I say he's going to compete against these other nations in a media relations and a power play, this is a show of power to the world. That's parade. Because that's what they do. Like, that's what's been going on. Like, so it's interesting. All these big countries, they do these parades once in a while, and all the countries did them already. And everyone has been talking about this one, not just his birthday. He decided to do it on his birthday. I don't know. You should review it.
Well,
you're not happy about it, huh?
there's it's not that I'm not happy. I don't consent. I didn't consent to King Trump, King Musk in America. That's not part of the game. And
What do you think about Elon Musk and Trump having their fallout?
I think it's beautiful. I don't know what God has planned, but I know that it's an opportunity, because the more but it could be show too. It could be all behind the
But
scenes.
you know, everybody has a direct link to God, right, Talcott?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to hear God's plan? Would you like to hear it or no? Probably not.
According to Cage, please.
Okay, here. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
He
Listen
said, yeah.
carefully. You said yes, not
Yeah,
yeah.
he
It's
said
a
yes.
yes or no.
Yeah.
Yes. You nod your head.
The plan.
No, he
Alright.
said yes. Paige, you tell him. He
All
said
right,
yes.
here I'm gonna tell you. Please listen very carefully, Mr. Talcott. Ready? I'm about to tell you right now. Here, listen carefully.
Yeah. You're full of games, Cage. Full of games. I don't even remember where we were. Hey, I actually think maybe it's time to start wrapping it up, guys.
Of course, yeah. Let's wrap it up.
All right. Final words from you, Cage?
Saran wrap.
Blessings. Thank you.
Hey,
Well-
Jack, you could go to LA and get some footage.
I do believe there's people in LA that are where they're supposed to be. I think I'm where I'm supposed to be. And
All right. I'm just saying, you always say you want to stop wars. Well, there's war going down within ourselves.
it can be,
You fucking smart little shit.
that's the solution, man.
Go to a fucking, start going to Trump rallies. Start meeting people. Start wearing that red hat, meet people, and see if they connect you.
Nope. I think it might actually be easier to get Elon Musk's attention, because Donald Trump has all the responsibilities and all the layers of protection around him. So maybe I should turn some energy towards Elon Musk.
Maybe you should start selling Tesla, do a commercial for him. Think of that. You could not only hook up with Elon Musk, but you'd be the face of Tesla. So
No,
that's like a double whammy. That's like, imagine Jack Talcott, the face of Tesla, and Elon Musk, homeboy, because he's doing a commercial for him. Start emailing Elon. Start emailing Tesla. Start doing like prototype commercials.
it's all going to come.
Rent one out.
Hey, it's all going to come together. I don't know the way, but I'm going to start wrapping up. Sincerely.
Bye.
Thank you, Snap. Bless you, brother.
Bye. Nice conversation. Bye.
Hey, thank you, Sean. Blessings to you. Sincerely. El Pero?
Well, and like I said, what he puts out doesn't go back to him void. And remember, it starts out in the word, but the actions speak louder than words. And that's whether you're doing what the words say or going against what the word says, good or bad. Your actions will always speak louder. So think about that and be blessed, folks. The only way you can be blessed is by letting his credence flow through you, because it prospers in that which where he sent it. So if you receive his word, you should prosper from it. Be blessed.
Much love to you, my brother. These ideas, it just prompted a little bit of words, so ideas. So I may flow for just a moment. And for those who are here, you're welcome to stay tuned. And thank you. Thank you all for joining the panel. And I want to really appreciate Cage. Thank you. You and I, we're getting better. I appreciate that you haven't given up on me, even though we've had our disagreements. And I get rude with you, and the same with Snafu. People criticize me for who I allow on here, but you know what? I have faith. I have faith that people care. And I'm seeing some effort. I'm seeing some true growth in a lot of us. And you know what? We are. If you break things down to the truth and you look at the facts of who you are, You're far greater than what the world may appear, what it may appear. This is it's part of the design. Back to where El Perro was offering, the reminder of the word. It is from the word of God, that we come into being. Okay, from the power, the will, the intention of the source of creation, you and I have been animated and given life. And we bring life and we animate life through the power and the ordering principles within our mind. Within our mind, through our mind, by the energies of our heart, we can push our connection up into the heavens and into the heavenly realms. That's where you'll find, in my mind, that's where I find the connection of the Father and of the Son, Christ Jesus. For me, that's my connection, that I've adapted it. I've embraced the idea that there is an intercessor. There is a voice that's eternally there, an ear that's eternally there for me. And it's through the will of God, the grace of God, and through the love of Christ. Through the love of Christ, I find my true happiness and what I found for myself. Truly, my life experience, what I found, it's explained in the Bible. And it makes perfect sense once you put it into practice. It's not complicated, okay? The simplicity will cause you to reject it, okay? But the simplicity is God has complete control. You are free to do as you choose, so choose wisely. Hey, and along those lines, we started with some new energy. I want to go out with this same energy, the new creation, the new opening. It's a little bit longer. I hope you stick around, enjoy the song, and we will roll out, I think, maybe at the end of that, instead of the old outro. I'm going to outro with the intro again. Thank you to you all. Until next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all. Peace.
When the night falls and the winds get loud, and I can't see past the weight of the clouds, I remember who holds every tear. I take a breath and live without fear. Been through trials, fire and pain, but his promise cuts through the rain. I don't need to have all the control. I got peace that anchors my soul. I won't break, I won't run. My battle's already been won. He's my light, always near. That's how I live without fear. I won't fold, I won't hide. He's the strength I keep inside. Storm may come, I persevere. 'Cause I live, yeah, I live without fear. People talk, they throw their stones, but grace reminds me I'm not alone. I don't need to prove a thing. I'm walking with the King of Kings. This world shakes and tries to shake me, but I stand firm. Faith won't break me. Every shadow's got to disappear. When God is close, I live without fear. I won't break, I won't run. My battle's already been won. He's my light, always near. That's how I live without fear. I won't fold, I won't hide. He's the strength I keep inside. Storm may come, I persevere. 'Cause I live, yeah, I live without fear. It's not about being perfect. It's about trusting the one who is. Even in the valley, he's still God. I won't break, I won't run. My battle's already been won. He's my guide, always near. That's why I live without fear. I won't